It is no secret to longtime fans of the channel that trading card games have been a big influence in my life, both on and off the channel. In this series, both DemonBattler and myself will be opening 24 packs, or one box, of each core Yu-Gi-Oh! Booster set in chronological order. After each opening, we will build decks from all of the cards we have opened thus far, then duel each other in a best-of-3 match with 3 prizes up for grabs to improve our decks. The winner will receive 2 of those prizes, and the loser will get 1. The possibilities for prizes are almost limitless, including single cards, sealed product, structure decks, and much more. Every card in the entire game's history will be obtainable in some form. However, neither of us will be able to rest on past laurels easily. The ever-changing official Forbidden and Limited list, our own choices of cards to be banished to the Shadow Realm, and even changes to the very rules of the game will keep our decks and duels fresh. This is yet another Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression series. Shadow of Infinity was released February 18th, 2006. This set introduced the Sacred Beasts, a trio of boss monsters that are mirrors to the 3 Egyptian gods and the first such level 10 boss monsters that were playable in the TCG. This set also introduced some support for the Ancient Gear and Cyber Dragon archetypes, as well as a lot of insect support. I'll take you through the set. There's some Ancient Gear support in the form of Ancient Gear Cannon, and some other cards at higher rarities. They don't impact the archetype too much because a lot of the important things that make Ancient Gear playable is at high rarity. Gokipon is a Sangan for insects. We will be playing this in any sort of insect build, and I have an insect build in mind if we get the right cards. Anteater Eating Ant is an interesting one. You effectively tribute summon it by sending spell or trap cards you control to the graveyard. And then this is back row removal in exchange for it attacking, and it's a 2000 body. This could very well end up being played in any sort of insect list just for having back row removal. A Saber Beetle is Dark Triceratops on an insect. That could be an interesting one of as well in any sort of insect list. We have Magnet Circle level 2. This could see play in any sort of low-to-the-ground machine deck, including something like Deskbot much later on. A Symbol of Heritage is something that we might be able to abuse later on, once we have ways to throw a lot of cards into our graveyard. At the rare slot is where most of the action is in the set. We have Proto Cyber Dragon, which is a way to make Cyber Dragon fusions more easily, because this way you can run more than 3 copies of Cyber Dragon on the field. Adhesive Explosive is Bad Blast Sphere, but it is removal on a monster. A Chainsaw Insect I'm interested in for the Skill Drain deck. It's a 2400 normal summon that gives your opponent a card every time that it battles. A Doomdozer is the big insect payoff. So this is a 2800 special summon that's basically the BLS of insect decks. It mills a card whenever it deals battle damage to your opponent, but it's just a 2800 body, and that's something we will be playing in any sort of insect list. Treeborn Frog is the best rare in the set. This is really the card that let Monarch take off as a deck. You can special summon this during your standby phase out of your graveyard if your back row is empty. And then the big removal option is Karma Cut. So Karma Cut is a 2-for-1, but it banishes any face-up monster your opponent controls, as well as any cards with that name from your opponent's graveyard. So that is playable removal. It was played and constructed for a little bit upon the set's release. And then Malfunction is an interesting trap card. It's more of a tempo play. What it does is you can pay 500 life points to effectively delay a trap card for a turn. So that could potentially see play. I don't think I'll play it because I have actual trap negation in the form of 7 Tools of the Bandit, but it is something to consider. At Super Rare is where a number of interesting cards are. We have Ruin Queen of Oblivion and Demise King of Armageddon. These are probably the best cards in the set in a vacuum. They're 2 of the best ritual monsters in the game to this point, especially Demise. Ruin is a 2300 double attacker, and then Demise is a 2400 fiend type that you can 2k life to destroy all other cards on the field. This is something that's worth building a deck around, especially because we have the ritual support. Ancient Gear Castle is an alternate way to get Ancient Gear monsters out, but it will only be played in that archetype, and Ancient Gear Golem is high rarity. The Damage Condenser is probably the most interesting super rare in the set. When you take battle damage, you can discard a card to special summon a monster from your deck with attack less than or equal to the battle damage that you took. So this can be very good to activate on your opponent's last attack to be able to give you tribute fodder for a monarch. And then we have the 3 Sacred Beasts. Cyber Laser Dragon is not worth talking about because it takes way too much setup for a payoff that's not worth it. But we will talk about the 3 Sacred Beasts. All of these need to be built around, but they are all pretty strong cards in their own right. So let's talk about Uriah first. Uriah requires you to play a lot of continuous trap cards. You send 3 face-up trap cards you control to your graveyard to be able to special summon it. For every continuous trap in your graveyard, it gets 1000 attack. And then you have a spell speed 4 back row removal. What is spell speed 4, you may ask? So spell speed 4 is an unofficial term coined by the community that refers to effects that cannot be chained to. And then the second Sacred Beast is Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder. This is only really playable in Crystal Beast decks, which we'll get to once we get to Power of the Duelist. So what this does is you have to send 3 face-up continuous spells that you control to the graveyard to be able to summon it. It's a 4k body that, if it destroys an opponent's monster by battle, they take an extra 1000 damage, and then if it's in defense position, the only monster that your opponent can target for attacks is Haman, Lord of Striking Thunder, and with a 4000 but, there's not going to be too much that can get over it. And then Raviel, Lord of Phantasms, is a special summon that requires you to tribute 3 Fiend-type monsters. It's a 4k body, and then every time your opponent normal summons a monster, you get a Phantasm token for every monster that gets summoned, but those tokens cannot attack. So they're mostly just big bodies, but Uriah and Haman are definitely the 2 interesting ones. Shadow of Infinity was not the only set to come out. 10 days earlier, on February 8th, 2006, we got 2 simultaneous releases, being Duelist Pack Jade and Yuki and Duelist Pack Chaz Princeton. We'll talk about Duelist Pack Jade and Yuki first. This is a very small set, only 30 cards, and these are 5 cards per pack. We will have limited access to this. It'll be about as much access as a tournament pack, but this reprints some very key cards. This is the most accessible polymerization we've had. Roughly 1 in 4 packs will contain a copy of Polymerization. All the base elemental heroes are here. Rottweiler is here at common, so if we missed this out of Cybernetic Revolution, we'll be able to get it here. A Hero Signal, if we missed this, we'll be able to get it. Polymerization, Fusion Sage. Warrior Returning Alive is a solid card too. At the rare slot, we have Wing Kariba level 10. Elemental Hero Thunder Giant and Rampart Blaster are 2 of the cards that I'm going to be looking out for, because very conveniently, these were 2 of the Elemental Heroes that I missed. So I actually have a pretty sick Elemental Hero package, and once we get enough support for it, I'm very interested in playing the deck. And then there's also Skyscraper at rare, and this is our first chance to get Negate Attack after it was just a video game promo. Elemental Hero Flame Wingman is the only holo that's really good in here, and we already have a copy. Burst Return is not very good, Bubble Blaster is not very good, Clay Charge is not very good. Steam Healer is interesting, I don't think it's good enough. It's just a life gain card, and it's only 1800, so it's very easy to beat over this. So I don't really think this is worth it. If we get one, we'll probably throw it in the extra deck of our hero deck, but it is not very good. But we're going to be looking at mostly the commons and the rares for this Duelist pack. And then the other Duelist pack is Duelist Pack Chaz Princeton, which does not have a lot of strong cards in it. The only cards that are really even worth talking about in here are the Vita Z pieces. All the Vita Z pieces are in here at pretty low rarity. All of them are actually at either common or rare. All the pieces to them are common, and all the fusions are at rare. Now, we have some of these from Magician's Force, but I just don't think the payoff is worth it. The only really good card out of this set is Magical Mallet. So what Magical Mallet does is it's still a -1, like Reload is, but it will let you selectively reload. This will see play in combo decks. Alright, so we have 24 packs of Shadow of Infinity. There's just a few cards I'm looking for out of the set. I wouldn't mind an Insect Core because a lot of the insects are Earth, and that would let me play Gaia Power to make Doomdozer something like 3,300 and be able to fight a field spell war with Demon, because clearly his Mystic Plasma Zone powered Dark Worlds have been causing me a ton of issues. But this set isn't too high of a power level. I'm not as excited to open this as I was of the last two sets, but we'll take what we can get. 24 packs of Shadow of Infinity, and we got a Chainsaw Insect. That's a good start. We also got an Ultimate Rare Malfunction. This is mildly playable in certain very aggressive decks, because it can delay trap cards for a turn. But overall, I'm not super pleased with this pack, but Chainsaw Insect is a nice start. And there's a Doomdozer. That's one of the cards we were really looking for. Saber Beetle's not bad either. It's a 2400 Piercer, and this might actually convince me to run some of our copies of Soul Exchange. The best thing I kind of want to see out of the set is the Treeborn Frog, of course, and the set of Doomdozer, because we will be able to make a deck with that. But we have a lot of insect support from previous sets that we should be able to coalesce into a deck. And there's our first copy of Gokipon. That's very important for the insect deck as well. We want 3 of those because that's our main searcher. And there's the Treeborn Frog. That's the only one we're going to need because Treeborn Frog gets limited very quickly, and it will stay limited for the rest of the time when it's relevant. Ancient Gear Drill is actually an interesting one, and it's a card I didn't talk about in the set detail. So what Ancient Gear Drill does is if you are playing Ancient Gears, this will let you search a spell card directly from your deck. This is the first kind of effect in the entire game that lets you straight up search for a spell card. There's a super rare. It is certainly an interesting one. It's Divine Dragon Excellion. Unfortunately, in order to make this work, we do need 3 copies of this, and because it's a super rare, it's not great. However, it is 1500 attack, so we can search for it with Shining Angel if need be. And more notably, that is our first copy of Anteater Eating Ant for the insect deck, as well as our second copy of Gokipon. And that's also, I want to say, our 5th copy of Phantasmal Martyrs. I would like Doomdozer, please. And there's another Treeborn Frog. Unfortunately, this will get limited. However, we could potentially have more than one in rotation for the time being. And there is another super rare. It is Cyber Barrier Dragon. We will never be summoning this. It is way too resource intensive. I will take the Karma Cut, though. Karma Cut is one of the few good cards out of this set. And there is an Ancient Gear Castle. That's one of the cards that would be nice, but we don't have the Ancient Gears to go with it. That is our second copy of a Symbol of Heritage as well. Funnily enough, that card does get limited later on. Whoa! There is a Raviel, Lord of Phantasms. I don't think we're going to be playing this, but it's cool that we pulled one of the 3 Sacred Beasts. I don't think any of the other cards in this pack are really worth talking about. Unfortunately, Raviel is the worst one. And there's our first Adhesive Explosive. It's bad removal, but it's removal on a machine-type body, so that means something, I guess. Second copy of Anteater Eating Ant for the insect deck as well, but we're not going to be able to make this insect deck work without at least one more Doomdozer, because that's the big payoff card, and we only have 6 more packs to get one. There's a Proto-Cyber. There's also a super rare Ruin Queen of Oblivion. That is unfortunately the wrong one. Demise is the better one. I will take the Proto-Cyber, though, because we will have access to some Cyber Dragon reprints down the line, and we do have a Cyber End Dragon in our extra deck. So only a few packs left. We're really looking for one more Doomdozer, and that's about it. I can't think of anything else I would really want out of the set, so 3 packs to go, see if we can get our Doomdozer. That is not a Doomdozer. That is our 3rd copy of Gokipon, though, which isn't the worst, but we really need another Doomdozer to consider this insect deck. We got an ultimate rare Ruin Queen of Oblivion. Unfortunately, that's not Demise, and I don't think Ruin is playable on her own. She is a 2300 double attacker, and we do have a lot of equips to facilitate that. We did get another Karma cut, but I really want to see that Doomdozer. Alright, and then for our very last pack, one-time Doomdozer? No, we did not, and none of these cards are even that useful, so I don't think we can really be on Insect because we only got the one Doomdozer. We did get the Treeborn Frog, though. That's probably the more important card long-term, so we're going to have to come up with something to combat Demon's Dark Worlds. See you in deck edit. So this is the deck that we will be taking to today's duel. I've changed around significant portions of the deck from last week, because clearly what I was doing last week wasn't working. This is a Bazoo Return Monarch thing? I don't quite know what to call it, but it's got a couple of different strategies that will let me go over the top of these Dark Worlds. So I'll take you down the card by card. I have 2 copies of Apprentice Magician. This is to help both float into Old Vindictive Magician and give us tribute fodder for our 4 tribute monsters that we have in the deck. 2 copies of Bazoo. This with 3 banishes can beat over a Dark World. I have 1 Blade Knight, mostly as a reinforcement of the army target. 2 Chaos Sorcerer to be able to banish Dark Worlds, and it can also trade with Dark Worlds in combat as well. 1 DD Assailant. This is a new card from the Destiny Board Traveler promos that we won. I should have had this in my deck as soon as I got it, but I kind of forgot I got this card. This is really good. It's a 1700 beater that banishes whatever it destroys, as well as this card. Which is a little bit annoying with one of our strategies in that it banishes their monster, but I think it's good enough to play even with what could be a bit of a drawback in endgame. 1 Free the Brave Wanderer, 2 Kaiser Glider. This is a card that we got in Dark Crisis, and we got a second copy of this out of our Dark Revelation 1 packs. This is a 2400 1 tribute that can't be destroyed by battle with monsters with the same attack, and then you can bounce any monster on the field when it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard. So we are playing this as a way to get over all the 2300 monsters. 1 Magical Scientist, 1 Magician of Faith, 1 Ninja Grandmaster Sasuke, 2 Old Vindictive Magician, 1 Sangan, 1 Spirit Reaper. You'll see why I'm playing this soon enough. 1 Treeborn Frog, new card from Shadow of Infinity. This is one card that enabled a lot of the Frog Monarch decks. What this does is, if you have no back row in your standby, you can special summon this card from your graveyard as long as you don't control another Treeborn Frog. So it's best to play just 1 of this since you can't bring back multiples. Then 1 Witch of the Black Forest and 2 Zaborg rounding out the monsters. For the spells, 1 Dimension Fusion, 1 Harpy's Feather Duster, 2 Last Will. So we really haven't had a deck that's able to abuse Last Will up until now. Just because we have so many tribute monsters, this can let us get an extra body on the field. Most of the time, this is going to be either Spirit Reaper to wall up, Sangan or Witch of the Black Forest to float, or Magical Scientist to be able to go into some big plays. This can also give us tribute fodder for our other plays as well. 1 copy of Mage Power. This is the only equip I left in because this card provides an absurd amount of attack power, and even with just a couple of back row, this can be problematic for any of his Dark Worlds, even through Mystic Plasma Zone. 1 Metamorphosis, 1 Painful Choice. You might remember one of the reasons I got excited for pulling this card all the way back in Magic Ruler. This is the reason why. This is the first deck that we have that can really abuse Painful Choice. What this deck wants to do is it wants to prep the graveyard for either a Chaos Sorcerer summoning, or it wants to load the graveyard full of monsters for Bazoo the Soul Eater to be able to activate it more easily. This is, I believe, the first time this card has seen play in the Progression series, and I'm pretty sure is going to get banned sooner rather than later. 1 Pot of Greed, 1 Reinforcement of the Army, 1 Smashing Ground, 2 Soul Exchange. This is something that I believe I've played once before, but I'll go over it again. What this does is it lets you tribute one of your opponent's monsters as though it were your own for a tribute summon, in exchange for being able to conduct your battle phase during the turn that you activate it. This can serve as removal for our opponent's big monsters. Then for the traps, we have 1 Dust Tornado, 1 Mirror Force, 2 Phoenix Wing Windblast, 1 Ring of Destruction, and 1 Solemn Judgment. I tried to make as many of the trap cards as possible in this deck as proactive as possible to be able to maximize our chance that we'll have no back row for Treeborn Frog. And then for the side deck, 2 Banisher of the Light in case we need it for the Dark Worlds, and this also synergizes with Dimension Fusion. We have the 3rd Bazoo, 2 more Spirit Reapers if we need to stall up, 2 Prohibition, 1 Remove Trap, 2 Barrel Behind the Door, 1 Compulse, 2 Disappear, here for the Dark World matchup specifically, and then 2 Sakuretsu armor. Now, in the extra deck, we do have some targets now because we have the Magical Scientist package. Most of our targets are going to be, as well as for Metamorphosis, we have, for the 6s, we have the Ryu Senshi, that's a big one. 1000 Eyes Restrict on 1. We do have some 4s in case we have the need for some Tribute fodder as well. Dark Bolter is a good Magical Scientist target as well. And then most of the rest of these we will not be able to easily make. Reaper on the Nightmare is our only other noteworthy one. I'm a little nervous to see how this is going to perform, but if this works like I think it will, it should go over the top of Demon's Dark Worlds. It is time to get your game on! Alright, so another week of Rai flailing around to beat Dark Worlds. Got it.
Oh, you don't know that. I could be using something else.
Oh, my ass, Demon.
Alright. Well, let's see what you could come up with.
Can I win one roll, please?
Alright, I'll take the play.
Alright, good luck, Duelist.
Good luck. Oh, wait. Draw? Right, we get the first draw.
Yes, it's not Master Rule 3 yet. Because I believe it was Master Rule 3 is when first turn draw got taken away.
I think so. Alright, so I'm going to start with Pot of Greed.
Seems okay. When do we get Ash again?
Not for quite a while. Ooh, options. I think I'm going to start by setting a card and setting 2.
Alright,
there we go.
Draw for turn, stand by, main. You're going to see a very broken card for the first time in the Progression series, and I'm very surprised it took this long for it to come up. I am going to fire Painful Choice.
You got one out. I see, you got one out of Dark Beginning, huh?
No, I actually picked this up all the way in Magic Ruler. I just have never had a deck to play it in.
Ooh, interesting.
All right.
Well... Oh,
I'm sorry.
I hate it. Let's see.
I'm sorry, I should have asked you if Painful Choice resolved. Got a little excited.
You know what? As much as...
Want to negate this?
Right. I'm sorry to tell you, but I'm having trouble reading this card, because it reads to me, discard a random card.
Are you kidding me? Wow. That's disgusting. Can't discard that one. That one.
Alright. Well, you actually get a decent one. Call of the Haunted.
That's not bad.
Really, that was more a case of I can't let that resolve as opposed to I want something discarded.
I'm gonna just set a monster and pass.
Alright. Stand by main. Ooh, there's a card I was hoping to see. Okay, so first things first, I'm gonna flip summon my Magician of Faith.
Oh, that's disgusting. Well, I'm losing this game.
And I'll fire off another Pot of Greed.
Yup.
There we go.
This deck's hard enough to beat without you playing Pot of Greed twice, you know that?
Let's see. And I think I'm gonna run out a copy of Zur, Knight of Dark World.
Yeah, it's not like it's unexpected that you would be on Dark Worlds.
And, alright, Zur into your defense. Let's see what you got.
I have a Treeborn Frog.
Ooh, Treeborn, okay.
New card from Shadow of Infinity.
Yep, and a good card, too. Alright, Magician of Faith goes in for 3.
Sure.
And I will end my turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by, I will summon back the frog.
Ribbit.
Main. I'm gonna run out a Sasuke here.
Alright.
Go to battle, and I'm gonna hit into your Magician of Faith for 15.
I don't like it, but I'm gonna Sakuretsu armor here.
Sure. Main phase 2, I'm gonna activate Last Will.
Ooh, Last Will, okay.
You might remember I got this out of the starter deck, too.
Yeah, out of Yugi.
Finally getting
it was like one of the few good cards out of it at that.
Finally getting a chance to use this. I am going to... we haven't left me with too much choice. I'm gonna wall up.
Ooh, okay.
Go.
Draw. Standby main. Oh, that's a funny card. It's actually not what I was hoping to see, but... Well, okay, so to start with, I think what I'm going to do is switch my Magician of Faith into defense.
That makes all kinds of sense.
And then I'm actually going to run out a new card. I'm summoning Dark Geroid.
That's really good.
And I'm going to target your Spirit Reaper for its effect.
Wow. Unreal. He just has all the answers. And then I'll take 18 from the juror.
Main phase 2, I will set a card, and I will pass the turn.
Draw for turn, stand by. I'm going to bring back the frog.
Alright.
Man.
That frog's going to be a pain.
I'm just going to set another monster.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. Let's see.
It's the frog that never goes away.
It is. Though I do have one idea on how I can do that. But do I want to? Nah, I think we're going to go a little bit aggro. I'm going to summon out another Zur.
You got it.
Alright, battle. Geroid into Treeborn.
Sure.
And Zur into your defense.
I'll eat the other Zur.
Alright. And... Alright, I'll pass.
Draw for turn, stand by, bring back the frog. Main.
That frog's... I'm starting to think that frog's actually a cat. It's got 9 lives.
So here's what we're going to do. I am going to run out a Bazoo. Anything on summon?
Summon's good.
Okay, I'm going to activate Bazoo, banishing Old Vindictive. And just Old Vindictive to bring him up to 19.
Okay.
Go to battle phase. I'm going to hit over the Zur.
Alright, so I will take 100, and Zur will go.
Go.
Okay, draw. Standby, main. There we go. Finally something. I'm actually going to set a monster. And then I'm gonna flip my Metamorphosis.
Oh, this is Thousand Eyes Restrict, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Because I know you have this now. Alright, alright. Well, I think I know what's getting gobbled up.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bazoo.
Here you go. It's down to 16 now, because it uses the printed attack power.
Right. Alright, and I mean, it's pointless, but let's clear out the frog.
Yep. I mean, this will buy you a lot of time.
True.
Because you can only attack with Thousand Eyes unless you show me a Sook. Anyway, I'll draw for turn, stand by, bring back the frog. Main. Pass!
Alright, draw.
I can't do too
Stand
much
by,
of
main.
this.
Okay. Question is, how do I want to go about this? Okay, so to start things off, I'm going to activate the Forceful Sentry. Let's see what you got in your hand.
It's pretty good.
Ooh. So you got a Blade Knight. Okay. Blade Knight, another Bazoo.
Yeah, if you can't tell, Tournament Pack 5 was very kind to me. That's where these Bazoo came from.
Yeah. I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Bazoo back.
Sure. That will go on top of my deck and shuffled away.
Okay. Then I'm actually going to sacrifice my Thousand Eyes.
Oh, Silva.
And run out a gold.
Yeah, one of the two.
Then I'm going to flip summon my Sangan.
Oh, I'm going to take a billion this turn.
So, Sangan, run into your frog.
And then I will take 35.
And
well, you can't
I
kill
will
me
end my turn.
I was going to say, you can't kill me with a gateway, at least. Draw for turn, stand by, bring the frog back, main.
So you have Old Vindictive, you have Blade Knight, you have Feather Duster, and you have a new card.
I'll just set a monster. Could be anything. Go!
Alright, draw, stand by main. Alright, I'm gonna run out another new card, Newdoria.
Wow, this deck has actually changed quite a bit since I saw it last.
Yeah, I'll talk about the reasoning for it in a little bit after our match, but to start things off, I'm actually going to attack with Dark Geroid into your defense.
Sure.
And then Sangan's going to run into what I'm assuming is going to be your Old Vindictive.
Yeah, I'm going to eat the gold.
Had a feeling.
And then I'll take
Newdoria will take
12 from Newdoria.
In phase 2, I'm going to set a card, and I will pass.
Alright, draw for turn, stand by, bring the frog back. Main. Let's go to game 2.
Alright.
Jesus Christ, I bricked so hard. As it turns out, if you have a bunch of powerful cards in your deck, they're no good if you don't get to play them. Alright. Draw for turn. I said draw for turn. Dueling book.
It turns out broken DM staples are broken.
Thank you.
It's kind of...
Stand by main. I'm just going to set a pair. Go.
Alright. I'll draw. Stand by main. I'm going to set a couple. Set a monster. And pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. First of all, let's get rid of the back row.
Oh. Yeah, you got some good ones. Got a Saku and the Book of Moon. Which is finally down to 1.
It is. Alright, let's see. I'm also a little concerned about your set monster, so let's actually nip that now. I'm gonna normal scientist with Prio. I'll grab this Dark Balter the Terrible. Dark Revelation 1 was not Dark Revelation, but Dark Beginning was kind to me and gave me... Dark Beginning was kind to me and gave me some nice fusions. Let's see. Yeah, I mostly just want to clear this out. Battle phase. 2k. No effect on that, buddy. No moth,
so
sorry.
That's kind of disappointing.
Sorry, no moth for you. 3.
Alright, I'll take the 3.
I'm going to pass the turn, and Dark Balter will go back to the extra deck.
Alright, draw. Stand by main. Alright, I will set a card, and I will pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. Seems like both of us are having difficulties finding monsters. I'm going to switch Scientist to defense and pass.
Draw. Stand by main. Oh, there's a card. To set a monster and pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by main. There we go, Pot of Greed. Now I get mine.
Alright, I don't have a Dark Deal set right now, so you're good on that.
Good!
I could only imagine how pissed you would be if I Dark Dealed your Pot of Greed.
I'm gonna pay 1,000.
Alright.
Now, mind you, people were doing this garbage, too. Eat your set.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that's a thing. Alright.
It's just gonna go back to your, it's gonna go to your graveyard. But I am gonna set one more. I'm gonna pass the turn, 1,000 eyes will go back to the extra, and this will go to the graveyard.
Draw.
Yeah, Scientist can do that, too. Why was this card legal for as long as it was? This is a ridiculous card. Draw for turn, stand by, main. Well, I just drew it.
Yeah, it resolves this time.
Alright, I'm gonna start dumping. What do I want to dump? I'm gonna dump a Kaiser Glider.
Ooh, that's neat.
Bazoo, Prentice. What do I not want to draw right now? Sorry, this is a decision. Sangan, and I don't want to draw Disappear right now. Let's dump that. So the pile is Kaiser Glider, Bazoo, Apprentice Magician, Sangan, Disappear.
I kind of feel... I feel like the best case would be to give you the Apprentice Magician.
Okay, I'll take it. Alright, let's get some offense on the board. I'm going to run off Bazoo.
Alright.
I'm going to banish 1. Make it 19.
Alright.
Go to battle phase. 19 direct.
Alright, I'll take 19.
Go.
Alright, draw. Stand by. You have got to be fucking kidding me. Go.
So this goes back to 16. Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. Well, let's go to battle. 16.
Right.
Go.
Alright, draw. Stand by, main. Alright. I'm going to set a card, and I will pass.
Draw for turn. Stand by. Main. You're at 42?
Yep.
I'm going to pay 1,000 with Scientist. I'm going to get Ryu Senshi.
Okay.
I am going to banish Sangen and Kaiser Glider to pump Bazoo to 2200.
Okay.
I'm going to set a back row. I'm going to activate Mage Power targeting Bazoo, and this should be exactly lethal. I'll proceed to battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, because your one Book of Moon was gone, so I knew the only answers you have Ryu Senshi could negate. Alright, this is a pretty important game 3. And you get to be on the play for it too, which is scary. I don't know if we've mentioned this, but there are some very interesting promo cards on the line for this duel.
And we'll discuss that in depth once this is done. But I'm going to take the play.
Yeah, very important game 3. Hopefully there's less bricking, because it seemed like both of us bricked pretty hard in game 2.
Yeah. Alright, just draw. Stand by main. Well, hopefully this will help prevent that.
Oh, that's good. Not like I can do much about it. We don't have hand traps yet.
Okay. I'm going to start by setting 2 cards face down. Actually, I'm going to set... And then I'm going to activate a new card. Card of Safe Return.
Oh my god. This is something I was really scared of, is you getting this out of the Dark Beginning 1 packs. This card is one of the most ban-worthy cards in the game, and I don't see this card surviving for very long in our format.
Yeah. And I'm going to normal summon out a copy of... And I'll pass.
You got it. Even if Card of Safe Return was once per turn, it would be too good. Draw for turn, stand by, main. I also have Pot of Greed. Although with 3 back,
about that.
Yeah, I figured.
Sorry, pal. I hate to do that to you, but...
Show me the Silva.
It's not the Silva, and unfortunately I don't get the extra effect out of it, but...
It is gold.
It's the gold. But I do get to summon it.
And you get to draw a card, too.
Yep. So I effectively go neutral on the exchange.
Set a monster and pass. Did you draw off of Card of Safe Return?
There we go. Alright, draw for turn. Stand by main. Having gold on the field really helped out a lot. It really is nice. Alright, I'm gonna run out a Mystic Tomato.
Yup.
Alright, and gold is gonna ram into your defense. Let's see what it is.
That's a witch. Let's... And then I'll take 3. I'll take 3k.
Okay. Main phase 2, I'm gonna set a card and pass the turn.
Draw for turn, really. Stand by, main. Set a monster, could be anything. Go.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. I might as well sure my field up a little bit while I can. I'm going to sack off Beige and summon out a copy of Silva.
Alright, you got 2 big doofuses.
And a pet tomato. Which, why not? Maybe I can get some... Maybe I can find a way to deal with it afterwards. Let's flip him up.
Can't die. Keeps my life point safe. Draw for turn. Stand by.
For now.
Main. I'm just going to set another monster and pass.
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. Ooh, that's actually not a bad card. Not very useful at the moment, though. Alright. Battle phase. I'm going to send gold after your face down card.
It's the frog.
Alright. I'll end my turn.
Draw for turn. Stand by. The frog is going to come back.
Yep.
Main. He's going away, though. I'm going to make Zabi, and I'm going to pop the Mystic Tomato.
Ooh. Okay. Tomato is gone.
Then I'm going to go to battle, and I'm going to eat your gold.
Eat my gold. Yeah, let's not do that. I'm going to Book of Moon your Zaborg.
Sure. Sure, Zaborg gets set. Go!
Alright. Draw. Stand by main. Alright. I'm going to set a card. I'm going to activate my Mystic Plasma Zone.
Yup, that's pretty good.
And your Zaborg is exactly the reason why I have this in here.
Yup.
And Gold's not happy that Zaborg tried to eat him, so
Sure.
Vengeance.
Sure. Draw for turn. Standby. We'll bring the boy back. Then we'll go to main.
Right.
I have another one. We're gonna eat the gold.
Yeah. Okay.
Then I'm gonna banish a light in the dark.
Oh shit. Okay.
For Chaos Sorcerer.
Sorcerer. Okay.
Then you have anything on summon?
Summon's good.
All right. With Prio, I'm going to banish the Silva.
Okay.
Then I'm going to proceed to the battle phase. And I'm going to 24 you.
All right. I will take the 24.
Go.
Draw. Standby main. I'll have to pass.
Draw for turn. Standby. Bring the Treeburn Frog back. And then the Treeburn Frog is going away for a Kaiser Glider.
Oh, okay.
I will proceed to the battle phase. I will attack with Chaos Sorcerer.
I'll take it, and the fact that it gains the power up hurts.
Then I'll attack with Zaborg. Show me your trick.
I've got a Saku.
Okay. Got another sack.
I've got the white flag.
Good. I finally beat this stupid deck.
I'm kind of wishing you had another normal spell, because I actually had another Dark Deal, and I actually had another big monster in my hand. The honorary Dark World monster.
Oh, that's neat. I was wondering if you were going to play that, because
I was actually at work, and it clicked. I was like, wait a minute. Despair from the Dark actually works very well with this, and it naturally has a high enough attack power to actually be useful.
Yeah, under Plasma Zone, that's 3,300, which is incredibly difficult to get over with. So I think you saw.
Oh, yeah.
I think you saw just about everything. The only thing that you didn't see is, you're gonna find this hard to believe, but I have not one, but 2 Kaiser Gliders.
Oh, nice. And those were from Dark Revelation, I think?
One of them was from Dark Crisis, one of them was from Dark Revelation. And
Interesting.
This is an Ultra in both sets.
Oh, wow.
So my idea to try to get over this Dark World deck is because I was playing almost no back row because I was playing Treeburn Frog. So, I was playing some back row, but most of my back row is chainable, specifically so I could keep it empty for Treeburn Frog.
Right.
Oh, also, you would know this because I had won both of the decks. I have 2 of these, and this is not limited yet.
You've got 2...
Yeah, that's not limited yet.
What? Oh, Last Will?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
That's not limited yet. I don't have a ton of targets for it. Usually it's just to Last Will into a floater, or in the case when I Last Willed into a Spirit Reaper. I think that made the big difference in Game 2 when I was able to Last Will into Spirit Reaper.
Oh, yeah.
So there was that, and the idea of this deck was I wanted to, when Treeburn Frog came out, I wanted to play Monarch, and then I realized that the only Monarchs I had were 2 Zaborg, so I decided to play the closest thing I had to a Monarch that was light or dark, which was Kaiser Glider, and this card ain't bad.
Yeah, it really isn't too bad in a limited format, because
2,400.
I mean, granted, yeah, 2,400 is pretty good. Then it lets you bounce a card back to it gives you a free compulse out when it dies. So I mean, it's actually not that bad.
And you also have to consider this thing has a 2,200 ass, so unlike Monarchs, you can't just book it and beat over it.
True.
2,200 is a sizable ass. And
so,
you know what else this is good against? This is good against Monarch too.
True, because it can ram straight into them and not go into and die as a process.
Yep.
So.
But I'm just super happy I was able to beat this deck for a change.
Yeah. So I'm sure you're probably wondering earlier why I have these in here.
Do you have Necrofear maybe?
Oh, trust me, buddy. I wish I had Necrofear. I would laugh my ass off if I could have made that work. But basically, one thing I had noticed in the last match was I had a tendency for my cards to brick. Specifically, I had a tendency to end up getting like 2 or 3 gold and silver together in my hand, and no good way to actually dump them. So what I decided to do instead was actually cut a silver and a gold out of my main deck and tossed in these two, because I figured Dark Geroid can help deal with Spirit Reaper, and it can also deal with some potential. Like, basically, I threw a couple Mystic Tomato in here. So the idea is, if I need a monster on the field quickly, it can either go into Dark Geroid and weaken a monster, or even take out a Spirit Reaper, or I could summon out a Newdoria and let that act as a free 1-for-1, and it gave me a couple less high-level monsters to have stuck in my hand, which, funny enough, didn't even... In the end, it kind of hurt anyway, because I ended up not only having Despair from the Dark in my hand, but a Mobius as well.
Oh, yikes.
And my opening hand was actually gold, beige, and Despair, as well as Heavy Storm, Aku, and Card of Safe Return. So I had like a pretty decent starting hand with that, but I was also seeing my issues in that I had a lot of monsters, so I needed to find a way to pitch them, and I at least figured this way it would help me a little bit in that regard too. I also had a good sizable zombies, like a zombie side deck option. It was like 2 Pyramid Turtle, 2 Ryokoki, 2 Despair from the Dark, and like the Book of Life, because I figure if I have Card of Safe Return out, and I can add in the zombie package to kind of get some more recursion going,
oh, gross.
Then yeah, that'd give me a lot of boosts. So
that's gross.
And here's the fun part. Yeah, I pulled a Card of Safe Return out of Dark Beginning 1 because I think it's like a common in that set.
It is a common, yes.
But yeah, that's not it. I didn't pull 1.
Yeah, it's a common. This isn't unexpected. Or was that one out of Labyrinth?
No, they were both out of Dark Beginning.
That doesn't surprise me.
I pulled them out of 2 separate episodes from Dark Beginning though. But I was like, yeah, this doesn't even get limited, period. It doesn't even get banned until like a good while later.
Oh no, it doesn't. And that card's just going to be gross the whole time, especially considering some of the cards we'll have access to. I definitely have my radar on that card, but not now. I have more important things to take care of come the mid-season. But mid-season,
right.
Mid-season isn't that far away. I think it's just a couple of duels.
I think so, because I think you said it's Power of the Duelist?
Power of the Duelist, and we just have one more set between Power of the Duelist and now, and that's Enemy of Justice. Enemy of Justice is going to probably make you stray away from Dark World, because that set has so many graveyard floodgates in it, and Dark World can't operate under, say, a DeFi. Plus, there's a very important promo that we're going to be playing for. But we will discuss that next time. And speaking of promos, we do have a couple of promos to discuss. The 2006 or the Winter 2006 Shonen Jump magazine promo was Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, which is not as great because we have Master of Oz, but it is the largest fusion monster that we will probably have access to for just about ever. And then we have the GX Duel Academy promos, which is big because one of the promos is Elemental Hero Necroshade, which is used in some pretty important Elemental Hero fusions later on. And this is the only way we have to get it for a long time. So I'm going to go ahead and snap up my copy of Elemental Hero Necroshade. So that will leave you with either the Winged Karibo or the Hero Ring.
I think I'm going to go ahead and take the Winged Karibo.
All right, that leaves me with the Hero Ring, and then I am going to head over and claim my 6 booster packs of Duelist Pack, Jade, and Yuki, hopefully get me some polymerizations. Well, that wound up being a very close match, but we ultimately came out on top, and it was super important because we got that Elemental Hero Necroshade, which is going to be very important. There's a very important fusion spell that we're going to be able to play, or not fusion spell, but a fusion monster that has Elemental Hero Necroshade as a fusion. Plus, it's going to be very useful for getting out monsters such as Elemental Hero Neos later on. And speaking of Elemental Hero, we may be able to play some Elemental Hero, because we are getting 6 packs of Duelist Pack Jade and Yuki for winning today's episode. Let's go ahead and start cracking. These are only 5 cards each. The big thing we're looking for is Polymerization and Elemental Hero Fusions. We want nothing to do with the Ultras. We want to see Skyscrapers, Polymerizations, and stuff to round out for Hero. But the big thing is Polymerizations. And our first pack does not have anything we're looking for. And then our second pack has an Elemental Hero Thunder Giant. That's pretty big. We also got a Fusion Sage with Church's Polymerization, but that's not going to help us when we don't have any Polymerization to search. I will take the Thunder Giant, though. That's one of the big fusions that we did not get in the Lost Millennium, but I was excited to get the Flame Wingman because I knew that Thunder Giant was a rare in this set. So we have both of the ones from there. We did get a Hero Signal as well. That is our first one of those. So let's go ahead and move on to our third booster pack. And we got the Rampart Blaster too, so we're getting all the fusions. We may have to play stuff like Fusion Gate to be able to facilitate Elemental Hero now. But I will definitely take an Elemental Hero Rampart Blaster. Alright, moving on to our bonus packs for winning. We got a Skyscraper, so we're getting a lot of the good Elemental Hero cards. We really need Polymerization though. Polymerization is the one thing that we are missing to make this deck go. I would like to see at least one copy because a lot of the Elemental Hero stuff specifically requires Polymerization. So see if we can spike one. We got one. Like 2 would be good, 3 would be ideal, but the important thing is we got one. We also got another Thunder Giant, which is nice. So if we can spike a Thunder Giant, or not a Thunder Giant, if we can spike another Polymerization in this last pack, Elemental Hero is 100% on the table. So let's see what we can get. Last pack. Hoop! That is not a Polymerization. That is a super rare burst return. So I think we're going to need to come back to these packs. But with these Fusion Sages, we may be able to get away with playing one Polymerization just to be able to easily keep it in rotation. So it's something that I do have to consider. And that's going to wrap it up for today's episode of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Progression Series. Join us next time when we open Enemy of Justice, which adds a lot of interesting cards to our card pool and will give us some tools to make fighting Dark World easier. Until then, see you around!